He says it was all like a bad dream.
There are armored vehicles everywhere, people with machine guns, individuals that stare you in the eye, and then in the back. You never know what to expect and from whom. One time, they just shot up a 9-story building.
A successful businessman and engineer by education, Alexander paints a bleak picture of life under Russian occupation.
Several people I knew, even those who had nothing to do with the Ukrainian military, just disappeared. There are no lawyers, no attorneys, no courts whatsoever.
Alexander, who is taking English classes at a school in the suburbs of New York, fled Kherson with his 87-year-old mother at the end of summer. The perilous journey was worth it, he says. Staying behind became too dangerous.
Today, all it takes is an anonymous accusation by your neighbor.
In some cases, he says, people are kidnapped and used for slave labor.
In one instance, a local man was taken away. A week later, he came back all covered in black dirt. He was forced to dig graves for the Russians practically at gunpoint.
His testimony of life under the Russian occupation is supported by the accounts of at least half a dozen other former and current residents of Kherson VOA spoke to. One of them is Volodymyr Kostyuk, a former general director of a local TV station and now a volunteer.
Everybody in town talks about all those new unidentified graves that appear at the local geologist's cemetery. All I hope for, and we all pray, that there will not be another Bucha here. In other words, I'm okay with dozens of dead, but not hundreds or thousands.
With the Ukrainian forces advancing, residents of Kherson say they are puzzled by recent Russian troop movements.
They have been trying to withdraw their regular army regiments, but they also brought in many newly mobilized soldiers here. This is not a contingent that can fight a regular army. They will be annihilated. I don't understand. Why would you do that?
Experts say such a military strategy makes sense, albeit a callous one.
What the Russians appear to be doing is putting large numbers of expendable troops into the city to make sure that the Ukrainians have to fight their way in. At the same time, they're withdrawing their elite forces and proxy politicians to protect them for another day.
Analysts believe the Russians are doing that with the aim of retaking the city later, with more well-trained troops.
The most important thing in here is that we don't need anything from them. It's always somehow them who want something from us. They want us to maintain relations. They want us to adopt their point of view. They want me to think and ponder the way they do.
Alexander says regardless of in whose hands his native Kherson remains, it will take generations to repair Ukrainian-Russian relations. Igor Tsikhanenka, VOA News, New York.